helping and getting us some wins tonight. I seriously appreciate it. And Chelts, that's the second time that we've been on Rebirth that you've just jumped into the water. Is it? Is that the fourth? That was honestly but I screwed up earlier because I underestimated the amount of drift on my parachute at that speed. But thankfully it was the first drop. Yeah, just one of those instances where you feel like you should be able to mantle a ledge, but you end up not being able to. And I just realized that in the background in the stadium right there, that's the front of the stadium that we have in the loading screen. I just barely realized that. Man, how astute of me to notice things like this. So hey, thanks a ton for jumping in with me, guys. I seriously appreciate it, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Caldera's tomorrow, right? All right, tomorrow night for the brand new Caldera shit. Looking forward to it. Thanks, guys. Hey, have a great night. All right, everybody, that is gonna do it for me tonight. There's a few things that I'm gonna have to do. Between now and when I stream again. One of them being, I need to fix this layout. I don't like this layout. It's just the stock layout. It's the one that just sort of comes with it comes default. It's the default, the default streaming layout, and I don't like it. So I'm gonna come up with a new one. And one thing that really bothers me when I look at this screen right here is that right in this direction, I'm not sure if any of you have seen how I was refinishing my basement. How I went from from finishing up the walls, from adding the plaster, from finishing the plaster, and then painting all the walls. Well, I still need to box the windows. So I still have a bit of work to do. But I'm going to do it. So, or at least eventually I will. It's all about priorities. Like right now, I'm working on getting assets together for my Merc Inspector series, which is coming along swimmingly. And I think that people are really going to like it. It's probably the most... I'm telling this story in a very unique way. I want to tell the story in a way that it makes it feel real. I want to tell the story in a way that makes it feel like it's actually happening. So it's like the way that I'm telling the story is that I am. It's like I'll provide bits of story in different ways. So it's like you'll get like a map of an area, or you'll get news articles or security camera footage, but it isn't your typical found footage sort of thing. It's like creative assets across the spectrum. Like maybe you'll have like an advertisement, or you'll have like leaked documents, stuff like that. It's like I want it to be sort of an engaging story where you get to know these characters, but you don't get to know them in the typical. You don't get to know them through a traditional narrative. And so it's like it's a really big story to piece together, but I'm really excited to start releasing it. It's big. It is big. It takes place across multiple social platforms, and you guys get to see me in full blown Cheshire mode, and that's a lot of fun. And the funny thing about Cheshire is that the personality is just basically me on steroids. Like that's one thing that sort of made me laugh about all the people who were talking shit on me online after all the stuff that went on today, is if they knew how much fun I had reading all of their comments. Like the one guy who dropped in here earlier who Dan banned. Think, by the way, Dan, if that guy knew that one of my favorite things is people trying to talk to me like that, then I don't think that they would do it. Like seeing people make videos, seeing people hate on me this aggressively is one of my favorite things. It's like I have an enormous amount of fun with it. It's like I mean, it puts like there are a few things that put a smile on my face, quite like the stuff that I've seen earlier today. So it's like all this Cheshire stuff. All this Cheshire stuff is really just me being myself, but on steroids. Oh yeah, Chelchcraft. Well, and that's the thing. That's the thing, is like, it doesn't bother me in the slightest. It's like people are like saying, oh, Stitch was just in the cinematics, or Stitch was like, fuck. I mean, Stitch was around the entire year. Like, oh, it's only in Warzone cinematics. Stitch has been in the game more than any, like Stitch was the center of attention the entire year. That's never really happened in a video game before. You'll have other games that that will take place, or like they'll take place in seasons and stuff like that. But Stitch was a central character the entire year. The story hinged on Stitch. So I mean, 3 Call of Duty covers. I'm like, but really, even let's say that I didn't do anything with Stitch. Let's say that Stitch showed up for 3 minutes. Let's just say that I was some random. Let's say that I was just some random operator. Okay, let's say I was just some random operator, and I was just lucky enough to show up in a store bundle. It's like, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care, because do you guys want to know what I do? Do you guys want to know what I do for a living? You guys already know what I do for a living. I take pictures for money, and I make enough money taking pictures for money that first off, I work with some of the most famous people in the year. I have contracts with people like Dr. Oz. I have met some amazing people in my life. I have done, and it's like, so I get to have fun. I get to make money having fun. I own my house. I own my truck. I go out. I have an iCamper on the back of my truck. I could go out. I get to do whatever I want to. I can literally, like right now, if I wanted to go right now, get a plane ticket, and then fly to Hawaii and spend a week there, I could do that right now. I could do that right now. I could end the stream right now, go buy myself a ticket, book myself a room for a week, and I could go to Hawaii. And stay at the Grand Wailea. $1,000 a night wouldn't faze me. It's like, I can do these sorts of things. So it's just like, so what? Like, let's say hypothetically I was just some random operator. It still wouldn't bother me, because I get to live life. I get to enjoy things. I get to do what life was meant to be about, which is enjoying the people that you're around, enjoying yourself, and I'm fortunate enough to have 2 amazing sons. So, yeah, Mystique. Honestly, now with me saying that, I really want to go to Hawaii now. But honestly, though, it's just like, so for me, it's like when people talk shit on me, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me because, like, why? It's like, why? Like, what is it about my life that there is to make fun of? It's like, oh, look at this guy. Look at this guy. He has a nice home and a nice truck, and he gets to go on vacations and stuff. I mean, he gets to go out and have fun on the weekends and shoot guns and take pictures for money. I mean, there's not really anything to make fun of about me. And the reason for that is because I've worked hard. I worked hard, and I got to good places. And then people, so they can say, okay, I mean, like, and guys, this is going to sound terrible of me to say, but I'm an attractive individual. I'm in shape, right? Look at that. I should put a flag on that shit. Wait, here we go. Yeah, see? Look at that. I'm an attractive individual. I'm in good shape. I have lots of money. I'm successful at the things that I would, that I like to do. So what so people can talk shit on me all they like. And it doesn't make me smile. It doesn't make me smile, and it doesn't make me laugh, because I know which people are talking shit on me, and what things are like with them. There's a lot of people who spent the entire day today just hanging out on Twitter. That's insane to me. Just like while they were doing that, I was having fun doing a photo shoot. I came back, I relaxed, I made dinner, I watched some TV. I mean, guys, it's just like I really appreciate, like, seriously, the way that people stood up for me. I seriously appreciate it, but I do want all of you guys to know that don't feel like you have to stick your necks out for me, because, like, especially if you're afraid that people are going to come down on top of you on social media and stuff like that, because I am very good. I am very good at what I do. I'm very good at taking people's shit. So Captain, I know that I'm getting the impression that you're here to shit on me, but here is my legitimate reason for having come down on, and I'm not going to call him the Codfather, though. I'm going to call him Blame. I'm going to call him BT. No, I don't want to call him BT because that's the name of the robot. The reason why is because I've seen the shit that he's posted before. Now, just because you say something is satire doesn't mean that it came across successfully. I've seen the stuff that he's done before, and it like, this isn't like Colbert Report level satire that we're talking about. It comes across exactly the way that it's interpreted. I mean, like, the amount, like I have so many messages in my inbox right now from people who said, thank you for standing. I mean, this surprised me. From people who said, thank you for standing up against the toxic people in the community. The amount of people who were thrilled that I came down on him for making a video like that staggered me. I thought I'd maybe get like 50, 60 likes. But the reason why I did is because I've seen the stuff that he has posted before. And if it's satire, if he wants it to be satire, then he needs to be better at it. If it's supposed to be satire, then he needs to be better at it. He needs to be better at it because it doesn't come across as satire. It comes across as being mean. It comes across as being nasty, and people will misinterpret it. But it didn't. When I saw his video, none of it came across as satire. It came across as somebody who, at some point or another, got pissed off by Ashton, and as somebody who got pissed off by Ashton, and then made a video. The way that his responses came across to me, were that it's like he bullied somebody, and then he got bullied back, and it's like when a bully is bullying somebody. Okay, when a bully is bullying somebody, and then as soon as they get caught, as soon as they get pushback, they say, "Oh, I was just joking." It's like, that's the reason why. So I did see the video. And it came across as being very mean. And I don't believe that Ashton left Infinity Ward because she was bullied out of it. I don't believe that at all. I believe that she was tired of putting up with people's shit. She wanted to go someplace where she wouldn't have to put up with that sort of crap with people treating her like that. I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to put up with that. I'd want to go somewhere else. It's like if people truly. So I guess this, like, the message at the end of the day is this: if people really want to see change, within the community, if they really want to see a change implemented in the game, then don't be an asshole. That's really what it boils down to. Don't be an asshole. I mean, because, like, what sort of result do you expect from treating somebody like garbage? Do you expect them to say, "Oh, I was wrong"? No, they aren't going to want to do their job. Nobody, and this is one of the most important things that I've learned when it comes to leadership, is that nobody leaves the house every day expecting to fail. Nobody leaves the house every morning wanting to fail. And it's just like, and if people realize that more, if people kept that in mind, then if people kept that in mind, then it would be a much different conversation. We would be able to implement greater changes, like the sorts of changes that people are wanting to, that people would want to implement in COD. These teams that are making these changes happen would be more than capable, would be at least more capable of making these changes happen because they're enjoying their work. That's one piece of the equation that I feel like that a lot of people are missing, is that you will do a better job if you are enjoying what you do. So let's take Ashton, for example. If she was enjoying her job, first off, she wouldn't have left. But if a person is enjoying their job, they're going to do a better job. And they're going to want to do a better job, so that when somebody comes up with a legitimate complaint, then they will happily take care of this. But if somebody comes out and calls you a bitch, if somebody comes out and screams at you for something that is way outside of your control, thanks for the follow, by the way, Ship. I seriously appreciate it, and welcome to the stream. So it's like that's one thing, and this just doesn't apply here, guys. This just doesn't apply here. This idea of giving people the benefit of the doubt is something that you should be using in all aspects of your life, in your relationships, in your professional life, in your private life, in every communication that you have. One thing that you need to keep in mind is that people are doing their fucking best. Life is hard for everybody. Life is hard for everybody. And if we realize that, if we keep that in mind, then we believe it, and we need to believe it, then the world would be a much different place. It really does make me sad. Like, I saw a video today, and this morning, crazy enough, this morning, I saw a video of an autistic boy who was bullied. Like, it's just like he was at the urinal at school, and he was getting punched by somebody. Then it showed then it showed another video of like a bunch of people just like punching him while he's outside. He had his guard up. What made me even more sad was that he knew how to defend himself like that. He wasn't fighting back, and he could have kicked these kids' ass if he wanted to. He could have absolutely destroyed them. But he didn't. He was just being bullied like that. And he was being bullied by kids who, if he wanted to, he could wreck their shit. Bullies, there is no bigger coward in the world than a bully. And in a lot of ways, you do feel bad for bullies. I feel bad for Blame Truth. Because when people act like that, like I know in my post I said that I think it's hilarious how pathetic your life is. How pathetic your life must be. And I didn't mean that. And the reason why I say this is because I know, because I have a pretty solid idea of what his life is like. And there's a lot of people in this world who they will take any sort of control that they can by bringing others down. And it's a really easy thing to say when you're trying to knock the bullies down a peg. But at the same time, though, it becomes a much more empathetic situation when you consider the place where they came from. I actually do feel bad for Blame Truth. I feel bad that I had to address the situation. I feel bad that we live in a world where I had to speak like that in order for the point to get across. I wish that we lived in a world where somebody could say, "This hurts my feelings. This makes my life harder. Please stop." And then somebody could say, "You know what? I'm sorry." But the problem is that you'll have people's lives who are really hard. I feel like, because I don't know anything about Blame Truth, but part of me does feel bad about the things that I said, because part of me wonders what his home life is like. But it's like he also needed to be kicked back into place, because he was so far out of line. Because guys, it wasn't good satire. It came across as being very mean spirited. And again, I don't blame Ashton for changing companies. I really don't. But just one thing that we always need to keep in mind is that people are trying their hardest. We're all trying to get through life. We're all trying to get through life. And life is hard. I mean, life is hard. I mean, I've made positivity my brand. Yeah, I dropped the ball today. I apologize, guys. But I've made positivity my brand because that's what the world is lacking most. That's what the world is lacking most. People, first off, my mouth is dry, and here I am going to drink some warm Dr. Pepper. Room temperature. Actually, isn't too bad. But it's like, I don't understand why people have to be so nasty. I don't understand why people have to. I don't understand why people have to. Just like first off, making jokes at other people's expense. Talking shit is different than making jokes at other people's expense. Like one comment today, somebody said, and I gave this guy kudos. He absolutely understand it. Hey, seriously, no, dude, Captain. And here's the thing, Captain. I seriously appreciate it. Like, I wasn't sure if you were still sticking around or not. But I would like to thank you for not just like spamming the chat. God, Siri, stop it. For not just spamming my chat. Because like a lot of people do that. A lot of people are incapable of being able to hear another person's perspective. And that's what I wish we were more capable of doing, of being able to have level-headed conversations. Because when I saw the post this morning, like, it literally made me sick to my stomach. Like I mean, not sick, but like it made my gut clench. It kind of put that pang just like right here, where you're like, how could somebody do something like this? But I seriously appreciate it, man. Thank you. You know, Mystique, and I do want to say thank you for being a part of it. I know that me not screaming into my microphone or me not doing all, like doing these overreaction, these reaction videos. I know that me not doing these sorts of things results in me having a smaller following. But I would rather have you guys in my community than a bunch of people who don't give a shit and a bunch of people who are toxic. And ADL, you're absolutely right. And recognizing the humanity in other people. Recognizing the humanity in other people and realizing that we all want to do good things in life. Like, is there like somebody in chat right now? Is there somebody in chat right now who doesn't want anything from life? Is there somebody in chat right now who doesn't have a single fucking dream? Who doesn't have a single goal in life that they're trying to accomplish? Is there anybody in chat who just wants to who's happy where they're at, and just they're fine with things being that way for the rest of their life? I'm not going to wait for a response because I don't believe that there is. I'm still working towards stuff. One of my goals in life was to be a Call of Duty operator. I crossed off that box. I was the Call of Duty operator. And I'm still fucking psyched about it. But it's like, I've done that now. And it's like, now it's like, by taking this approach to things, I've been able to accomplish some really solid goals in life. Again, I've said it a few times already, but again, I think it's important to reiterate that my approach to life has resulted in me being able to have a nice home and to have be able to pay, buy a brand new truck in cash, be able to get a rooftop tent that I can go off with my boys and go explore the world and have plenty of money and sky miles built up to do whatever the hell that I want to, and then continue to make money doing what I love. If that isn't what people are aiming for, if that isn't the ultimate goal, then I don't know what is. And I feel very fortunate. I feel very lucky to have been able to accomplish that. And but I'm still driving towards things. I'm still driving towards my goals because that's really what makes me who I am. Is that it isn't not being happy with where you're at, but it's always recognizing the need to grow and to evolve. And you know, and Emma, and that's the thing is like, you know, this is tough stuff to go through, but I would bet that you are tough as hell. I would bet that you are tough as hell, and that because you've gone through this, you know, because you've really gone through the shit, you are more capable as a human being. I'm not saying that it's good or that I'm happy that you went through it, but what I am saying is that I can't imagine the sort of incredible person that you've become from having to go through that. And Schultz, thanks so much for dropping in for the games. I appreciate it, and well, we did solid. Thank you so much. See, and that's the thing is, and you know, we all have, you know, Dan, and that's the thing, we all have different. Oh, yes, of course. Here we go. Adler, there is this guy named Rick, and I kid you not. I'm going to say shit you not. See, I'm going to bring it down so you guys can see in the camera. Sorry, guys, I'll break away from everything that I was saying to do this. Adler, there's this guy named Rick, and I shit you not, he turned himself into a pickle. He's called Pickle Rick. Funniest shit I've ever seen. There it is. But I'm Pickled Stitch. and then we need Tiny Stitch. Woo! Tiny Stitch. But I'm serious though, guys. It's you got it. But I'm it's like I think I've become the way that I have been because look at that. I'm not even going to worry about it. I've become who I am because I just enjoy life. And it's like, and that's why none of the shit that I've seen today bothers me. Because there's literally nothing to make fun of. Thank you, Mystique. And that's the thing. It's like a comment like that, like, you know, it doesn't bother me. But it does affect the vibe. And anybody who can ruin this sort of vibe can go get fucked. But that's the thing. I think, but ADL is 100% right in what he said. A little bit of empathy goes a long ways. The recognition of humanity in other people. And again, if we were more capable of doing that, and if parents taught their kids more how to be able to express empathy and how to be able to look at things through that sort of glass, then the world would be a different place. But I feel like right now we have an entire generation of individuals who just it's like the way that the internet feels like it's the way that the internet feels like it's evolving now is that it's a bunch of people just trying to make some witty snide comment, like the best witty snide comment that anybody's ever made. And there's nothing instructive about that. You have people who are trying to resolve complex issues. Who are trying to resolve complex issues through discussions on Twitter. See, ADL, man? And that's what I'm saying. You know, you hit the nail right on the head. I mean, how many people do you think are just trying really hard to make things work in life? Like, how many people are just one shitty comment away from throwing in the towel? That's one thing that's another thing that I think that we need to keep in mind. That's another reason why I feel like we need to be careful about the things that we say to people. I have no problem shitting on people who are bullies. I really don't. I feel bad that that's the only thing that they respond to. But I have no problem doing it because sometimes that's the only way that you can stand up to a bully. And seeing the comments and seeing the way that people reacted, seeing the way that people reacted when I bullied the bully, was everything that I need to know about about him and everybody who follows him. It's a bunch of people who don't know how to be happy in life. But the way that they're trying to find happiness in life is to bring other people down. And ADL, it's like, and I would have been really sad if you had given up. Like I would have been sad not seeing your work. But you made it, man. And I feel like ADL's story is the sort of story that needs to be heard more. Like somebody who just did what they loved enough, and they did it over and over and over in spite of everything, and eventually made it happen. I mean, for those of you who don't know, ADL is with Infinity Ward. I mean, that it's not just like he went from just putting out badass renders to being with Infinity Ward. That's cool. That's a win. That is a massive fucking win. It's like, and we can't always, have massive wins in life, which is why we always have to look for the small wins, just the small victories. And eventually the small victories get bigger and bigger and bigger. And if you feel like you're stagnating, look for those small victories. And that will make a big difference in your life. And Mystique. I'm happy to hear that. And it's hard to get your life going in a good direction sometimes. Sometimes it's hard getting up off the goddamn couch. And it's most difficult when you can't explain why. It is most difficult when you can't take a step back and take a step back and think and consider why it's happening like that in the first place. I'm going to hurry and change this to just chatting. We're chatting a bit longer than I thought that would, but that's okay. I'm enjoying it. Let's see. Where's my dashboard? View dashboard. Edit. Just chatting. Cool. Title. No. Just chatting. ... Okay, cool. Let's see here. No, and that's the thing. It's like how many people, and back to the original point that I was making, how many people are just like one bad comment away from throwing in the towel? Like, what would have happened? Like, let's consider this. What would have happened if instead of going over to Microsoft, Ashton had just left left entirely. She had just called it quits and decided to go do something else in life that she might not have enjoyed as much. Like, what would have happened if videos like that, if comments like that ruined somebody's lifelong dream? I mean, just think about that for a minute. That's awful. That is fucking terrible. And there's no defense of it. The idea that we're going to try and build ourselves up by ruining somebody else's dream? Come on. Anybody who do that can get fucked. They can get absolutely starched. And I would have no problem socking that person in the face. I would do it with a great big smile on my face. But no, I honestly... Sorry, I'm just getting lost in all this Doctor Who conversation. But no, that's so when we communicate with people, and here's the thing, we can't fix the problem because if you're in this chat right now, then you are a positive person, and I'm fairly confident that you don't treat people like shit. I mean, it really isn't that hard. And the fact that you would do that to somebody. I mean, no, never mind. I'm not even going to address the original situation anymore, just because I don't care to. Because it isn't that big of a deal. It isn't that big of a deal. It is. It's literally just like Twitter shit. Twitter isn't a real place. Let's remember that. And if something is like, if you don't like something, if somebody's treating you like shit or somebody is trying to get under your skin on Twitter, you can literally turn off your phone. You can literally put it down and then just like not even worry about it. You can just walk away. You never have to look at it again because guess what? People are going to forget about it. And Mystique, you know what? And that's the thing. Your story is one of my favorites because it shows what happens when you create a positive environment. By creating a stream that's built around positivity, then positive people are all congregating into the same location, and as a result, positive things. What happens when you get a bunch of positive people into the same place? You get positive things happening. And I can't imagine that there's anything that's more positive than two people getting to know each other, getting engaged, and eventually getting married. That's positive as hell. So it's like, and so that's one of the biggest things. It's like life is more enjoyable when you have, like, when you surround yourself with positive things. And that's one thing that I wish, throwing back to my failed marriage, is that's one thing I really tried hard to do. Is I tried to surround myself. I tried to I tried to get her, my ex-wife, and I tried to get myself just to surround herself with positive things, to not hang out on Facebook, to not get to not take part in flame wars and comment sections. I still don't take part in flame wars. Like you guys will be hard pressed to see me in too many comment sections with more than just one or two comments. Surrounding ourselves with positivity is crucial. Hey, and I'm assuming that the X is pronounced with the Z, so I will say, oh no, exiled. There we go. I was about to say siled turtle. Exiled turtle. Thanks a ton for the follow, man. Welcome. How you doing? Sorry guys, I'm reading ADL's comment here real quick. Man, ADL. I'm screen capping that. Oh, come on. Come on. There's a command. There we go. There we go. I had to screen cap that, ADL. And that's the thing, is like, what would happen? What would this world be like if we spent all of our time? No, dude, ADL, no. Bro, you're speaking truth. You're speaking truth, man. Like, and it gives, like, there are a few examples there's a few examples that I refer to more than yours. Hey, Exiled Turtle, and I appreciate it, man, and I feel like maybe I might have been too harsh with that tweet, but at the same time, man, it's just it really hits me hard when I see people bullying other people. And people said, "Oh, it's just a joke," but it didn't come across as a joke at all. It came across as something that was very mean, and it's just like, I mean, what would happen? Like, it's like Ashton isn't in charge of what she communicates. She's, in a lot of ways, she's told what to communicate. She's the liaison. But anyway, though, without getting back into it, just because I don't want to give him more attention than he deserves. I want people to know that bullying is it's not right in any circumstance, unless you're trying to put a bully back in his place. Which again, maybe I could have. Well, that's the thing, which is like tact doesn't really help these situations at all. And I wish that it did. I wish that people could just say, please stop. This is hurting my feelings, shit like that. And that people would recognize the folly of their ways, and then they would stop being assholes. But that doesn't fix the problem. Maybe someday it will. I dream of that day. But ADL, man, I don't consider these like these are dumps. These aren't dumps in a negative sense. These things are good. Because again, like, man, I mean, like look at that, like your story, like to say that you were almost done, and then you decided that you were just going to keep going. And I am absolute, like, you have no idea how happy it makes me to hear that I was part of you rebounding and not just getting better, not just sticking with it, but then, bro, you're with Infinity Ward. Like, you're in the big leagues. You're in the big leagues. That's hardcore. That's hardcore, and it is the most. I can't imagine there being a better testament to the power of like a better testament to hard work and just sticking through the shit than your story is. Oh, I have GIFs that I'm going to be using for cheers, but until I get those uploaded, with that cheer, I'll just say, yeah! There we go. There's a cheer for you. But I want people, like, again, it's like, going back to the story of Mystique and Bob. It's just like good things happen when you get a lot of positive people into one place. Positive things happen. And that's, Captain Falcon. Falcon Punch! Or however. I know, I haven't played Smash in a while. But that's why I sent out that tweet today saying that I'm just going to focus on positivity. Because, positive things happen in a positive community. Shitty stuff happens in a shitty community. Like, good things cannot happen in a shitty community. It's not like it's the sort of thing that it's like, you can be shitty, you can have a bunch of shitty people just sitting around saying shitty things, and then good stuff is going to come out of it. It won't. Bad things only come in bad communities can only beget bad things. Good communities, positive communities, are the only place where good, positive things can take place. And that's why I'm committing to being only positive, to helping to foster that sort of positive environment. Because because within this community we've had ADL who landed a job with an Infinity Ward. We have Mystique and Bob who are engaged. And over the past year, I've had dozens of messages of people who've reached out and said, "Thank you for the things that you've said on your stream." Like, and it's usually at this part of the stream right here where I just start talking about things where people seem to find the most value. But then here's the thing. So it's like, here we are focusing on positivity, and trying really hard to figure out the components of a positive community and of positive interpersonal interactions. And then I see everything, and then I see chat scrolling past, and it's positive chat. I like the idea. Dude, Exiled Turtle, that is probably one of the best analogies that I've seen. It's like, and I'll put a thought in my head. I'll take it one step further. If Mystique cheer, Exiled Turtle, it's like I completely agree with that. And listen, and if everybody's sitting in the cesspool, then everybody's going to smell like shit, no matter how hard you try. And so it's like separating that. Separating yourself from that, getting away from it. I've been sitting at, like, you know how we get enough, when you get enough notifications on Twitter, it just says 20 and a plus mark. That's been sitting like that all day. And I'm not going to go through any of it. And the reason why is because I'm not going to jump into the cesspool. I'm not going to be any part of it. There's been all sorts of shit said about me. I'm sure you have people who've been digging through all my social platforms and people who've been trying to figure out nasty shit to say to me. And I have seen some of the things that have been said about me, and like a lot of it actually is completely inaccurate. But it's like I'm not even going to address it. I'm not even going to try to. I'm not even going to try to affect people's beliefs at that point. But you know, and it's like, and it works. I just ignore it. It's going to go away. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Is I said my piece. Exactly, Exiled Turtle. Exactly, man. That's and it's like I'm not even going to set foot into it. But every once in a while, I do feel like some people, like, you know, Ashton will never see the thing that I posted. But it's like, I do feel like it's like what happens when you have somebody doing something and nobody's doing anything about it. I mean, it's like what is that? Like, imagine like you have a friend, and this friend is getting bullied. Now, I don't personally know Ashton, and I'm sure she has no idea who I am because I'm not a recognizable name. But like, let's say you see a friend who's getting bullied. You know, what does it look like to your friend when nobody is helping them? Like, if they're getting bullied, if they're getting picked on, what does it say to that person? It says nobody cares. It says it says that I'm not worth it enough for somebody to come in and say, please stop. I feel like if there's a particular person who's being bullied, like somebody specific, then it is, in my mind, it is up to us to be able to stand up for them. Not just to put a stop to the bullshit, but to be able to communicate support to somebody. Because like I said, life is hard, and feeling like nobody cares is the hardest thing of all. Yeah! What do you have right there? We have a blowhorn, we have a flag, we have a clover. What is that? We have a snowman with a carrot in his forehead, a heart, and a cat. So there's my cheers. Or is that like 6? Is that like 6 cheers you need to do? Yeah. There we go. Yep, dude, Exiled Turtle, you're like fucking Confucius, man. You like, I love what you're saying. I am glad that you showed up here. I seriously appreciate it, man. Oh yeah, and that's the thing. Like, like you guys do need to check out both of ADL's Instagrams, because like one of them, like, you know, bro's got some serious drip. Like he knows how to dress. He knows how to look good. I can look like a simple bro. That's not too hard for me. But yeah, Bunkadunk. The surgical Duke. So I was like the motion capture. I was the facial expressions that nobody got to see. Yeah, I was the motion capture, the facial expressions that people didn't get to see. I'm the, you know, it's my body and everything. There's a few renders out there where you can actually see what my face looks like under the mask. The original intention, from my understanding, is that the mask was going to come off, but they wanted to take the Bane approach, which makes sense because, you know, that was my first thought when I first saw the concept art and everything, was that he kind of has a certain Bane vibe to him, which is why, like, which is kind of funny. So, like, the photo where Stitch is like this, you know, like very Bane-like. That right there, that rendered right there was based upon a photo where I was just kind of like making a joke. I was doing the whole like, so it was like we were in a warehouse. You had the photographer and the videographers, they were over here, and then you had other members of the cast who were over here. So you had like and anybody who knows who April Nicole is, she was there too. But she wasn't actually there as Rose. She was there as like miscellaneous cannon fodder. So she was actually suiting up as a Perseus agent. But that's where I first met April. But so they were standing over here. You had the photographer and the videographer over here, and just in between takes, I was over here. Like, you think? Oh wait, I need to do the hand thing. Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. Why, by the time that I first saw sunlight, I was already a man, and by that time it was nothing to me but blinding. So, and of course I did the arms wide thing, like from the meme, where you have Stitch over here, and I think it's like the Trojan Man on the other? Is that who it is? The guy in the pink jumpsuit, Trojan Man? But the the battle pass skin. So, like, one thing that you'll notice, like, if you go back to the Season 1 cinematic, like, you don't get or the way that Stitch walks with his arms, like, really stiff. There's, like, barely any bend in the elbows, more swing in the shoulders. And that's just, like, that's the natural way that I walk. Like, that's where I first lost it, was seeing the Season 1 cinematic and seeing Stitch walk into the room. I was like, fucking me, finally! Because I thought I was going to be in my original understanding was that I was going to be in the main campaign. Because the documents that I signed didn't mention anything about Warzone. It was everything about Cold War. So I was surprised to see myself showing up in Warzone like that. Because of the mask and everything, and like in the original mask, Exiled Turtle. This is the original mask that was used during production. So during production, they changed it. And if you actually go on to Google and you look up the Stitch skins, you'll see that a few of them still have this mask as Stitch's mask before they changed it to leather and added the vertical strap going up the middle. Originally, it was this mask, but they changed it. I'm pretty sure for trademark reasons or for copyright reasons. So, but this right here is the mask that I wore for production. Just kind of see what that looks like, and you can see, like, as soon as this goes on, just like angry eyes are just, and then plus like Stitch's crazy eyes. So like Stitch kind of has like aggressive crazy eyes, kind of like, and here's the crazy thing. So it's like on the mood board for Stitch, like when I was getting on the mood board for Stitch, they actually had a picture of Agent 47 from Hitman on the mood board. So here's the Stitch eyes. So it's kind of almost like this empty expression with anger in the eyebrows. See that? So it's like so Monster Emma. So they have this one right here. I had custom made. You can find one that's really similar to it on Amazon, but you won't be able to find them with the leather straps. The leather straps had to be custom made as well. So, but you can find masks that are similar to this one. But this one was custom built and fit for my face. So, so it works out really well. But and not very many people would notice this, but if you look close up at the mask, you could see that it's not flexible like leather would be. You can still see the rigidity of a resin mask, but it's just the texture was swapped out for leather and they added the vertical strap. So Winter Soldier, that's exactly what I call it, because because this really is the Hannibal Lecter mask. It really is the Hannibal Lecter mask, but they had to change it again, I think, because that's exactly what ended up being an issue. I think that Activision Legal came back and said, you guys can't do this. I don't think that they actually tried to do it and got in trouble for it. I think that they just wanted to get ahead of it and not get into any problems later down the road, potential problems later down the road. So But yeah, so but I really did have a hell of a time doing it. But then after all that stuff was done, I just go back and go into my normal life. Go back to being a commercial photographer, enjoying weekends with my boys, or weekends going out shooting guns with the squad and shit like that on the weekends when I don't have the boys. Going down to Moab, southern Utah, with my Tacoma, rooftop tent and everything, going exploring, going into the mountains wherever I want to. It's just like I have a good life. I have a good life, and I have a hell of a time. Like really just doing whatever. I mean, I got myself a pair of BNVD 51s. I know. I really wish that people just like, again, it's like no game is ever perfect. No game is ever perfect. And I can imagine it's really hard for COD devs to go into work every day knowing that a good portion of people who are going to be buying the game are just going to be consistently shitting all over their work. Because video games at the end of the day are art. And it's really hard to make good art when you feel shitty about it. At which point you just have to go into work and force yourself to do it. I mean, I can't, like, if you don't love making video games, it would be miserable as hell, everybody. I mean, could you imagine going in and coding a video game? Oh, man. That would be rough. But then coding a video game knowing that people are just going to shit all over it. I mean, I make comments about things like, but in a lot of ways, it's kind of like, playful shit talking, But if somebody comes back to me to my shit talking and says that actually kind of hurt, then first off, Bob, thanks for the gifted sub to High Montage. I seriously appreciate it. And High Montage, I'm glad that you're now a sub. But if somebody comes back to me to something I've said, to my shit talking, if someone comes back and they say that legitimately hurt me, then I will back off on it and I will apologize. Because just talking shit on people doesn't really, it just, that does nothing for me. It doesn't make me feel better. It makes me feel kind of bad, actually. But again, it's like, as you guys have seen, I have a hard time standing by and watching people get bullied. I really do, and I have no sympathy for bullies. I don't like to think of how many people are in dark places right now who are on Twitter right now because they're in such a dark place that they don't know what else to do. I mean, like, let me ask yourselves this. I mean, how often do you guys sit down, let's say you're sitting on the couch, you're laying in bed or whatever, you pop open your phone, you go to, say, Instagram, you go to, and then you check your Instagram feed, you scroll through everything, and then you make it over to your Facebook, you check all that shit, you head over to Twitter, you check all that shit, and then you find yourself back on Instagram, maybe hoping that somebody else has maybe commented on something or liked something else. And then the cycle continues. So just constantly bouncing back and forth, bouncing back and forth between social platforms because we don't know how else to go about life. Because we don't know how else to go about life. And it's made all the harder by constantly having to fend off all the negativity. And that's one thing. And that's one thing, Exiled Turtle. That's a really solid example right there. Is that I mean, we can all agree. I mean, and this is coming from a guy. This is coming from a guy who, I'm Stitch and I'm Stitch in Black Ops, but my favorite COD is Modern Warfare 2. Like if I take myself out of the equation, my favorite COD is Black Ops Cold War just because, that's my game. I'm the bad guy. I'm Perseus. I'm the bad guy. But it's just like if I remove myself from the equation, Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2 is my favorite Modern Warfare, and Black Ops 2 is my favorite Black Ops.